Okay, welcome everybody to the MSK Olympics 2025. We are live now here, ready, right on time. Thanks very much. We got 83 viewers already. This is quite good. I have a bet running if we manage to get over 100. So I think this is looking quite promising. Yeah, excellent. So basically what we are going to do in the next 2 hours roughly is we have a radiology speed reading competition. We want to find out in 3 different disciplines how fast radiologists can actually report a knee MRI, a shoulder MRI, and an ankle MRI. And we have the contestants in a separate meeting. They are gathering there and getting ready. And we will have a little bit of an introduction first. We will talk about why we actually do this introduction, these Olympics in the first place. And then later we will start with the actual competition right in about 25 minutes or so. We also have quite a few prizes to give away. Let me just share my screen here. Just need to make sure I get the proper slide up here. And we can go right in here. Where is it? So, okay, this is fine. I will just share my screen. First question, can you guys hear me? I would assume you can. Okay, so just here briefly the agenda again. So the Video Olympics, we will go over the rules. We have a little practice round, then the rounds, and then at the end we will have the prizes. So, but also you on YouTube can actually win prizes. So this is what we will give away throughout the live stream. We will give away the Speed MSK book that I wrote, including the webinar. We will give away the Confident Radiologist, which is my new book, including the Confidence Planner, which is a couple of weeks extra training, which would be worth $126. We will give away access to the wrist MRI masterclass, and we also have 2 licenses by Berlin Case Viewer to give away, which kindly sponsored this, and then also a one-on-one coaching session with me personally. So these are things that you can win with entries in the chat. So we will tell you what to do in order to actually win these prizes. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is a little bit how we planned the MSK Olympics in the first place. We had 100 spots available, and pretty quickly we had over 200 radiologists who wanted to participate. Let me just briefly check how many we are now in this call. I see only 45 in this one, but that's fine. I think maybe some people are still joining. We told them that we will start around in half an hour, 20 minutes from now. So they still have enough time to actually get ready and set up everything and join this. That's fine. And the other thing I want to mention is it's not just a fun event for those people. They can actually win quite hefty prizes. So we have a total of over $20,000 in prizes, thanks to our sponsors, Imayos with Anatomy and Berlin Case Viewer, and also my own company, or me personally, who is also contributing to this sponsoring pool. And we can briefly talk about this then in a second. So, but the next thing what I want to do is tell you what you can actually get out of it while watching, because the other radiologists, when they do the competition, you will actually not really see how they actually report. We will only see the times that they need to report. But what you will get is actually a little bit of teaching for yourself. I will show you the exact search pattern that I'm personally using when I go through these 3 joints. We will have a little mini guest lecture by Dr. Rola. She's an MSK radiologist. She will talk about shoulder. And then we also have other things at the very end where I go to over best practices on how to speed up your reporting, even if you are not competing now. And we will also go over some anatomy of the knee. I will show you quite a different things. Okay. And I see in chat somebody's asking how to actually join the competition. Check your emails. Like if you signed up, you should have received an email or 2 or 3 or 4 emails with all the rules and everything in advance. If not, maybe something didn't really work with the registration on your end. Okay, so what I want to do next is bring Hefcott onto the stream. So let's see if we can manage this here. Hefcott, I just need to bring you up here. I hope you're ready. So let me just do this, start call up cam, and zack. Okay, there you are. I can't hear you for some reason. Let me just see if this is on my end, or are you muted? No, I briefly heard something. Can you guys hear Hefcott?
No.
No. Okay, so let me just double check the audio here. It worked before, like it just worked a couple of seconds ago. You're not muted, no? Okay, maybe just rejoin. Yeah, maybe rejoin. Anyways, while we wait until Hefcott is coming back, I'm just gonna go out this one. We have to find out. I'll just go back to this one. Okay. So with Hefcott, when we announced the MSK Olympics, and we got quite a lot of heat, so people were very unhappy with the event. Like people got really triggered, and we want to briefly address this and address also why I think it's an important thing to talk about this and do this event. So we will have a little chat with Hefcott about this topic. So we just wait for Hefcott to rejoin, and I will see if this works. Let me just see if we can bring him up now, because it worked everything before interview here. This is, I think,
there you are.
Testing.
No, I can
hear you now. It's good?
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. Okay, fantastic.
Okay.
Here I am. I'm alive.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome, Havgot. Thanks
Okay,
for
that's
joining me
great.
here in the MSK Olympics. Yeah, we had
Thank
quite a
you,
lot
Chris.
of preparations and stuff that we had to do in order to get started with this event. So thank you very much for your help in preparing this event. It's been quite a thing.
Quite a journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think you prepared a few of these comments that were posted on our article about the 150 MRI versus 10 MRI a day. And yeah, let's talk briefly a little bit about that.
Yeah, so this article was really interesting, and I think it's something we realized from RSNA last year, which is that the speed variation is so great, but speed is such a secretive and strange in radiology that people feel it's wrong.
Still, we are not able to hear him.
And so I just wanted to kind of, we put together this article and we got some very interesting, contentious responses, both positive and negative. Now, I'm only putting some of the negative ones up now, not because they were only negative, but just because it just probably generates. Are you sharing your?
Just wanted to give me just a second, guys.
We got some very interesting.
You need to get muted.
Positive and negative.
Guys, you need to mute yourself in the participant chat. Okay. Otherwise, the stream gets bombarded with funny voices. Okay. Thanks. Yeah. Sorry, Havgot. Yes, please continue.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. So yeah, just wanted to say for everyone in the call, don't worry if you can't hear me. I'll mute myself here. But okay. So this is the problem with doing things both ways. But Chris, if you'd like to share, I can show you through some of the comments,
yes,
or I can share screen if that's easier.
I will put you on. I will put you on. Give me a second. You need to share your screen.
Okay, I can share screen then. So I don't seem to have the option to when I do it though. Things are always easier in the rehearsal. In life. Okay, so what I want to do next. Okay. There we go. So you may need to share the PowerPoint. I can share you the link if you need it, but you were sharing it just previously, Chris.
Yeah, okay. So you cannot share it then. Okay, so let me just go to this. And this was the article here, this one. But now I cannot hear you anymore.
We're going to share the cases in Google Forms. That's going to come in due course.
No, wait,
there. So we're just going to briefly address some of this and yeah, see how it goes. But I think, oh, here we are, Chris. Are you sharing it now?
No, can you hear me? Because I left the other meeting because people were talking. So that's why I left the other meeting. You need to either, let me just see. I need to come into this. Give me a second. This one. I need to join this one.
And just so the chat knows on YouTube that we're going to just briefly do some questions. In fact, we should probably even do the first one. I think we were due to do it before, Chris. Should we get people to say where they're from in the chat?
Yes, excellent idea. Can you hear me now? I think we are back up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's do the first giveaway. And basically what we want to do is, actually, let me just see some. I see the chat bot actually joined, so we can do a proper raffle. I want to just try this out. Give me 1 second. So we will give away the first book. You can already type in chat where you're from. I think that's interesting for everybody to see from where you are watching this live stream. But then we will have the first giveaway of today. This is the speed book. And I go here and you should, I think this should be working now. So let me just go here, giveaway, back. And we can see this one, cancel, confirm. So I will start the giveaway. You have 3 minutes. Let's see if this works. You can type in chat. I think what you need to type in chat. Let me just check. Raffle. So if you go into the chat and you write exclamation mark. How do I do the exclamation mark? Raffle. See if that works. Otherwise we just do, type in raffle, exclamation mark raffle, and you are entering the draw for a copy of my book. let's see
Okay.
if people are doing it. It worked for me, so
We have a lot of responses like Germany, India, Egypt, Algeria, Tampa, Florida, Italy, Ireland, Turkey, Romania, Malaysia, Arizona, Pakistan, Turkey, Poland, Kosovo, Georgia. It's a pretty amazing variety
Yeah.
of places.
So people are typing raffle. That's good. I'm just gonna check on my end if these are actually getting recorded. Yes. So we got 21 tickets. Amazing. I'm happy that it
Should
works.
we,
So this
while
is
that's got on
yeah,
the
it's 2
background,
minutes. So it's only for 3 minutes, guys. If you don't type in exclamation mark raffle in the next 2 minutes, you cannot win the prize. And we do this throughout the stream. We have got all these prizes lined up for you guys. Okay. Yes, I've got. Let's go back to what we actually wanted to do now. I will try to make you be able to share your screen.
That would be very nice.
I have this one here. And screen interview. This one is what we want to do. And you can still hear me, right? I just want to make sure because good. And then, so then try to share your screen.
No, I think my privileges have been revoked.
No, not on Google Meet. You need to do it on this Streamlabs call.
Right. Yeah, that's where I'm trying.
Okay. Then.
But maybe if you just do it, if it's not working there, you can share screen for the PowerPoint.
Okay. Then let me do this. Where is it? Okay, there we go. But can you see my screen now? You cannot see my screen, right? That's the thing.
No, that's one issue. I can't see yours. But I can see if
just rejoin the collaborator call and then we just try again.
Okay.
So yeah, we had it all practiced and planned, and now with the too many Google Meet calls coming up, it's just a big mess. Okay, we'll see if Hefkot's coming back. Let me just go here and wait for him to return. So he's not in yet, so let's wait. And yeah, you can see you typing this in, so we will get this raffle soon done. Amazing. Yeah, just make sure we will, throughout the 2 hours, we have all these prizes coming up. We will always do this with these raffles and announce the winners after the end of this time. Okay, so I can't see Hefkot. I'm just sending him the link again in case he lost it somewhere. So give me a second.
Hi.
Oh, I can hear you.
I'm back, yeah.
Okay.
But I think maybe you just share if you can, and I can still see you popped up.
Did you try sharing the screen?
Yeah, it's just I don't have the option for some reason.
Okay. Maybe you're sharing a screen on Google Meet or something?
No.
Okay, that's fine. Let me do it. I will do it like this. Where is my PowerPoint? I will have to find the PowerPoint though.
Share you the link if you like.
No, I have it, and then I will put my.
Great, I can see that now. So here's the article that we looked at, and we'll just kind of
not yet. So we just go here, and I'll just pull it up now. Screen share. This is now my screen.
Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, but not on the stream. No, not on the stream. Collab.
Let's see.
That's the thing. It's show on stream and.
Perfect. Thank you for everyone.
I need to put you on the stream as well. Show on stream. There we go. So, okay, Hefkot, we're ready.
We did it. There you go. We're getting speed and confidence. We're acquiring it.
Yes. So this was one of the comments that we got on this article on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you about this one because this was maybe an amusing one to start with, but they were saying like, yeah, you can go this fast, but it will degrade your quality of existence so much that you'll basically become a sociopath with a fried brain. So as somebody who reports quite fast and is interested in speed, do you feel that that's like slowly, becoming you, Chris? Is this a risk?
No, I think this is kind of like a contradiction in itself. Like if you can do it one day, I don't think it's much different. Like if you do it one day, but the 5 days a week, obviously it's going to be somewhat stressful, but it's not like an average number, I would say. This is kind of like a peak number, and the average is will be lower for most people, I would assume. And people are not every radiologist has the same capabilities and speed. So I think drawing a conclusion that you become a sociopath with a fried brain is kind of like ridiculous. I think this doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. So it's a dramatic image, but like this kind of American psycho radiologist, maybe it's not so accurate. And then so if we go to the next comments. This is one where actually I thought a really thoughtful and comment that raised some valid points, valid concerns. That someone who'd been reporting for 40 years found your piece eerie and unsettling because, although they want efficiency, they also, in mammography, they also didn't like having pride about it. So it's slightly kind of confusing with that first point. I mean, what do you think about this first point there that they said?
Yeah, I don't agree. Like, why should we be fast with screening mammography, but we shouldn't be celebrating MSK speed? What's the difference? I don't see there as a big problem. I think efficiency is part of being a good radiologist. It's not just enough to be very knowledgeable and super skilled. Speed is an essential part of being a good radiologist, and not everybody will be the same speed. Not everybody reads the same, so we don't have to draw comparisons. But I think it's a noble quest on trying to increase speed and trying to find out what works best to become more efficient. Just also from pure academic reasons. I think it's just interesting to see what works, what doesn't work. And if you don't really like that idea, I mean, maybe then don't.
Well, that brings us to the next quote, which is a lot of these were quite emotional. Like it seems like people were afraid about having their, they said, how does it feel? Who's measuring how it feels to do 150 MR per day, every day? Yeah. I mean, what do you think about this, the feelings which came up, like this almost fear of being degraded into a machine?
I think for many people it will be a mirror in front of them where they kind of like are overwhelmed with the belief that somebody can report over 100 MRI per day, and that injects feelings into them. So that's when they become very emotional and then start typing messages like this. And also, like, if you have started radiology with plain films and even with MRI putting onto a projector, the way you approach radiology and images will certainly be completely different from what a person or how a person approaches if it's just pure digital radiology. I think this also has an influence, and we had like 2 or 3 people which are borderline retired, which are very against stuff like that, and I think it has also a little bit to do with that.
I'm seeing in the chat that I have an echo. I don't know if I'm playing in another call with you, Chris. But
I tried to get out all the calls. Let me just go back to our interview. So we need to speed things up, otherwise we will have 3 hours in the end.
Well, so let's just go through. I wanted to look really at maybe the last point. We can kind of go over. There was 2 more, but we can just look at the final one, which is someone saying that this is just fake news. You can't do it. It's not possible to do this many reports. And I think one of the things you said was it's important to study the outliers. Why should it be? So, like, for people who don't think it's possible to do 150 reports in, say, 10 hours, how do you, describe that to people who can't even understand it?
I mean, with this number, we don't really have the number of hours per day that person specifically works. So if you work 12, 15 hours, the number per hour obviously goes down. But even assuming a 10-hour shift, 150 reports are about like 4-minute reports, and 4 minutes, if you got very easy cases for an MRI, should be feasible if the spectrum is very simple cases from GP practices or something like this. And you just need to have a few quicker cases, like 2-3 minutes, and then you can even have like a 10-minute case to compensate for this. I think just because you have your own limiting beliefs, you should not generalize it and put it on everybody else. And I think in the discussion on the article, we used a lot of analogies, even the people against it, and I'm also liked quite a bit of the analogies. It's the same like if 10 years ago or like 20 years or even 50 years ago, somebody would have told you, hey, I can run a marathon in under 2 hours. Everybody would have said that's totally ridiculous. It's totally unphysiological. It's physiological, not possible. And because we don't know how some people do it, doesn't mean it's not possible. And I think that's what we want to explore today.
Absolutely. So now if you take us through the next, quickly we can go through the statistics and some of the reasons why people gave it, and then we'll jump into the rules and practice.
Yes, okay, excellent. So I'm just going to share the screen again. And so we asked the competitors why they actually joined and a little bit about their background. And you can see this here. We have consultant or attending general radiologists. The majority of the participants are that. We've got quite a good amount of MSK radiologists. a few residents and even fellows, and then we've got some other people here which didn't fall into the other categories, even like a medical student, MSK researchers, and so on. When we look at the language distribution, the majority of the people who wanted or will participate will speak English, and then we have all the other languages here lining up in minorities, which kind of like makes sense given English is so popular. And we also have asked them why they actually want to participate in this event, and we can see many different reasons. Like many answer they want to learn, they want to improve. Some just want to have some fun and participate out of interest, and so on, and some other things here. And two answers kind of like stood out for me. These two from two people who applied. They speak Spanish, that's what I know, and their boss made them to apply. So I'm not sure if they actually, hopefully, are in the call. I think it's an interesting idea. Maybe they want to win some of the prizes here. Okay, so before we want to go into the rules, I want to briefly show you a video about some of the people and why they actually joined. So let's hear it from themselves.
To be faster on my reports.
I registered because I want to see how I compared to other radiologists around the world as far as efficiency and accuracy.
As it would be because it's like esports, but with menisci and labrums.
It's because I wanted to challenge myself to see whether I'm fast enough.
So that I can test my skills against others in something very different to what we do in day-to-day practice. So that's why I signed up.
I've been teaching my own fellows for some time now about the importance of being efficient and productive. And now I want to test myself and see if I am in the right path.
I decided to join the MSK Olympics because I want to improve my skills on MSK.
I actually found it a very good platform where I can challenge myself both academically and clinically against my peers all over the world.
While competing with other radiologists from around the world, I will be able to assess my skills.
And looking forward to learn from my peers. I want to learn what mistakes we are doing here.
The reason I enrolled is because I'd like to assess myself, not only in speed, but also in the accuracy of my reports.
So I want to challenge myself, I want to think differently, and I want to be able to be a part of something that will help me grow, even if it is outside of my comfort zone.
I've joined the MSK Olympics because I wanted to improve the quality of my MSK imaging, and I wanted to also just as a benchmark see how I'm doing in terms of my detection rate and also the speed compared to other MSK radiologists.
I have registered for the MSK Olympics because I think it would be fun to compete with radiologists all over the world, and I think I would learn a lot with respect to the reporting speed and accuracy.
And finally, of course, I'll try to get the prize.
Okay, we're back. So this was quite interesting to hear why people joined, and I think people want to try this, so let's do it. So the next thing we want to do is actually go over the rules. So I will share again my screen, and then we will briefly show you the rules so that the viewers also know what the competitors actually will go or have to do. So these are the rules. So we will have 3 cases. We will have 1 knee MRI, 1 shoulder MRI, 1 ankle MRI. So the whole group that's actually in the call currently ready for competing will receive these links or one of these cases all at the same time. So we will post a link of the knee, and then everybody has to report the knee. After we've done the knee, we give 15 minutes time per joint. We will post the shoulder case, then they have 15 minutes time to report the shoulder case, and then at the end we will post the ankle case, and then they have 15 minutes time to actually report the case there. They can report in any language. We will use AI to translate these reports, and the goal is to submit the report as fast as possible, and we have a separate Google form for every joint where they post in their report, and that Google form will then also use the timestamp to actually really make sure we can objectively measure how long everybody needed to actually do this. Each case is divided into major and minor findings. This is basically done by me. This will be the gold standard. Whether this ultimately is the absolute truth or not, that's debatable. But for the purpose of, they don't have to basically make sure grammar is correct or something like this, so with the participants beforehand. And then we have a scoring of each of these reports into qualified, not qualified, and the number of points. And this will also be verified by judges that are doing training with me in the fellowship. So they will go over these reports and judge them to make sure that the AI algorithm that's analyzing the reports is also not completely wrong. So this is the rules. And the next thing we want to do is go over a, or I just need to go maybe out of this one. We will go to the practice round. So let me just go here, and I need to join the participant stream now. While I'm doing this, I'm just gonna pull this on the other screen. I think there was some echo. Yeah, chat, thanks for letting me know. Stream is loading. I hope it's up. I think it's still up for me. Okay, so let me just see. Gmail. And then we will do the test case. So the test case or just practice round is basically to make sure that everybody is familiar with what we want to do. And I'm just going into this call. And I'm just going into this call. I hope there will not be too much echo. Okay, hi everybody. Can you hear me in the Google Meet now? Hello everybody, so you are the participants. We will do now a practice round. You can hear me, thumbs up. Okay, thumbs up. I'm gonna share my screen. Okay guys, so this is how it will work. So we will do first the practice round. Stay muted, that's very important. I will send in the test link, and then we just want to make sure that it works, that you can load it, that you also are familiar with where to post it. We sent you the instructions beforehand, but we just want to make sure it actually works. So, and this will also be the same after. I will send you the link, and I will also send you, or first I'll send you the submission form, because I think that's probably better if you have the submission form beforehand. You can open this in your browser already, and then have it ready so you can actually quickly copy paste your report. We don't have to actually submit the report, it's just for later we will do the same process. And then I'll post a link. So if everybody can briefly open this case, we just want to make sure it actually works and we are not crashing the Collective Mind server. So when this is up, you click this up. This is just a practice case, we don't actually have to report it. We can preload the study and you can see it goes quite quickly for me. And then we just want to see how this works. Okay. So in the meantime, let me just reset the timer. Good. Okay. So let's see chat if anything is, if there are any problems. I think thumbs up if it works. Yes, you can so guys, in the participants, you can use any way or template, however you want to create this form. I don't care. You can use AI, you can use templates, you can use whatever you want. It's working fine. So it seems to be working for most people. There's just one thing I want to tell you guys in case you didn't read the instructions. If you open the case, it will show like this. This is obviously not the actual way to report. You have to open the review mode, watch the screen, or I can maybe I share the screen with you guys because the Google Meet call cannot see my screen. I'm just sharing this with you guys. But just make sure that you have the best information available. You should now see my screen in the competitor call. Good. So when you open the case, this is what you see. This is obviously not how you report. You open the review mode or you click on any of these images, you click on it, and then the DICOM viewer will come up. You were able to, we had a couple of days to practice, but the first thing you need to do is preload the study by clicking this cloud sign at the name at the very first line. So this is what you need to do. Okay. This preloads the study, so that means later you have like full functionality, like no slow. This is now local on your computer. You cannot really blame your internet. It might just take a while to load, and this depends on your internet connection, a little bit on your geographical location also. So we want to make sure, yeah, some things we cannot influence, right? But this is all hosted on Amazon. Like, be mean to Amazon, not to me if something crashes. But I'm happy that we didn't have any major issues here from what I've seen in chat. I think, yeah, important to preload. You have to preload. If you don't use this preload function, I'm just showing this again because this will be crucial. You will certainly have no chances. So preload here. Watch this. So this, and then it starts loading. This is what you have to do. Okay. Good. Excellent. Okay. Amazing. I think that's ready. And then the second link that I sent you is the Google Meet form. So I just show you this for all the participants, and you on the stream can also see how it actually works. We need to have your email address. This is important because we want to get in touch if you actually are winning. And you will have the clinical information provided here for the case. You will also have the clinical information provided here on the first page. It's not necessary for you to report the clinical findings in your report. So the submission here goes straight to the description and impression. No need for clinical information, etc. Okay, so don't lose time by repeating what's already there. Yeah, so give you 1 minute for questions. So Timothy is asking what timestamps are used for timing. So what happens if you submit the answer here, we get your timestamp down to the second, and we will just make a note of the time when we start, and we can then calculate the time until your submission down to the second. This gets exported into a database or an Excel sheet, and we can then do the calculations off screen. So we can go down to the second on how long you actually needed to do this. So let me go back to the chat. The time will start once I post the link of the case. Okay. You don't need to have a CMRAD account. The links will work even if you don't have a CMRAD account. And you will also get a, actually guys, I wrote this in the email. You will get a separate submission form for each joint. So make sure you will have the proper information up there, knee MRI, shoulder MRI, etc. But we will start with the knee MRI, which will be quite self-explanatory. Okay, good. So yeah, I think that's for the practice round. Do we have any other questions for from the participants? Yes, I have got co-host. Good point. Where are you? Just gonna make I've got co-host here. Okay. No, during the competition you don't need YouTube at all. You don't need to watch the stream. You can just focus on the report and submit. And once you submit it, you can come back to the channel, but stay in this call because we need to actually give you the command here. Otherwise the stream will have like a 1 minute delay or something like this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if it takes very long for you to download, that's not something we can really influence. And we will also, yeah, so, you know, we will support, submit the link here. You need to full report. Well, you can do the report however short you want it to be. Just make sure you have all the major and minor findings as I described before. Okay. Good. No, we will do all here in chat. I think most people will see how we work it with the first joint. Okay, good. So coming back here, I think this is all that we wanted to see. Let me just pull Havcott back on the stream. We will actually go and see who actually won the prize. Let's see if Havcott coming back here. Show and stream. So Havcott, let's have a look who won the first prize because we want to give away the second one as well. Dashboard, CloudBot, there we go. And I'm just gonna stop sharing my screen for now. Okay, and where is it? Dashboard, here. So let's see if the giveaway has been successful. We have 59 tickets and pick a winner. Priyanka, you won the book. That's excellent. So We just make a, I've got, can you make a note or something? I'm just gonna copy paste this in.
Yeah.
Okay, you got the echo again, but we just picked Priyanka. I'm just gonna show you guys because you want to make sure it's objective, and you can see we got 59 users here. These are all the users, the entrants, and I can randomly pick a winner, and it was Priyanka Singh. So Priyanka, if you're in the chat, send an email to me, info@acton.org, to claim your prize. And the next thing, what we want to do, we just do the second giveaway before we start the first competition. Is that okay?
Was this for when people said where they're from, or is this a new one?
No, we do it, the raffles just like this. They just have to enter back raffle. I think it's easier. I will do this. In the meantime, can you go into the competitive chat and make sure they understand the rules again? Because I think there is still some people who don't really know what to do. And I will go out of that call for now. I will be back after the raffle. Okay, so yeah, so let's do the next raffle, guys. I will start this here, and we give away the new book, The Confident Radiologist. And in order for you to win this book, you need to enter, again, I'll tell you when. Just follow, you will see in the chat, we give you 3 minutes. You have to enter /raffle, and you should be entering into the raffle. We have 3 minutes, and then we will pick a winner. So enter !raffle for a chance to win the Confident Radiologist book. Excellent, so people are very responsive to this. So that's amazing to see. And we will pick this then after. Okay, so in the meantime, it's time to go back to the main stream and to the competitor stream. Make sure these guys are ready. Just want to join them. And then we will start with the first need report. Okay, guys, it's time. We will get ready for the need report. And before we do that, just the last couple of questions answered here. You will get the link in the chat here in the Google Meet call. So you don't need YouTube for now. So you can actually mute your YouTube stream. I will be in the call here for now. I will post the link to the submission form first, and then I will post the link to the case. And after, as soon as I post the link to the case, it's go time for you. And then you have 15 minutes. Okay. So let me get ready. I'm not sharing my screen at the moment, right? Okay, that's good. So I want to go to my PowerPoint, and I will go to the first submission form for the knee. So let me just double check. Just want to double check. Okay, that's the right form. Okay, so, okay guys, this is now, I'm just gonna share the screen so people can actually see what you're doing. So I'm gonna post the submission form. This is now just the form to submit the report. Open this, have it ready. Make sure it's the knee one. I double checked it's the knee one. So open it, have it ready. And then we will actually, in the next couple of seconds, I will post the case. I will also just double check before actually you can do this. So let me just double check here. And you on the YouTube stream, you have 24 seconds for actually enter !raffle for a chance to win the new book. 20 seconds left. Okay, this is the knee case. Okay, and this is the right case. Yes, okay, excellent. So it's time. And I will copy the link in 10 seconds, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so now let them report now. We have the countdown also on the stream. And while these guys have now time to report, I wish them all the best. We will have a look at the winner of the last raffle. So let me just go and check that. So we have 57 entries. Let's pick a winner for the book. It's the person at Sing. So it's just Sing. Sing won. Congratulations, Sing. Write a message to info@acton.org. I've got make a little note. Just gonna copy that in our private chat here. So just gonna here. Okay. This is our private chat. You can now see. Let me go back here. Okay. So this is now over. And the next thing we want to do, I want to briefly show you the new 3 Tesla knee model of Imaios e-anatomy. That's the first thing I want to do now while the others are reporting. Imaios is one of our sponsors for this event, and they have sponsored quite generously multiple licenses for the whole institution to 10 licenses. So quite very extensive library on licenses for people to use e-anatomy. And I want to show you what this actually is. And this is basically e-anatomy by Imaios, and they only recently have uploaded I'm just going to mute myself from the Google Meet call. They have recently updated their knee module. It was a very old knee previously, and they have now uploaded very beautiful 3 Tesla knee MRI with full annotation, which is scrollable on PDF headset on 3 planes and on a T1 as well, with annotation of all the structures, not just like, bones and menisci and ligaments, etc., but also nerves. And I just want to show you a couple of things. And this is really great. I use Imaios frequently. You can see I have my own account here, and I use it mainly for nerves, interestingly enough. And I only had this week I think I've got you need to mute, or somebody is not muted, or I'm just going out of the Google Meet call, sorry. Okay, I can still hear somebody. Are you still on? I think Hevkot cannot hear me. Okay, so let's go to the Imaios. So this is basically the module that I'm using the most, not for the knee, but for the nerves, mainly plexus, or even like upper arm, lower arm, finding these smaller branches of muscular branches or funny nerves. And only this week I had a case with a venous neuropathy where the clinician wanted to know specifically whether there is a defect or something wrong with the saphenous nerve. And I think this is really great now with this new knee model to see these different things. Another for the knee also sometimes good is to use the 3D. I just need to message Hevkot, he needs to mute. Because he's not muted. And arteries, vessels is also a very good use case for using this on the knee to have these separate names here. And I love this quite a bit. And I think the great thing about it is also you can actually, if you go back to the nerves, for example, we can just click it up here. Just getting out of all the Google Meets because I can hear somebody. I can hear something. Just getting rid of all of it. I don't know which one. I think I know what it is. Give me just a second, guys, because there is something. Yeah, okay, I see. It's Rola. I'm just coming back here later for this one. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so the good thing about this is you can also click on the specific structure and then you get additional information about this structure, as you can see here. This is especially good like if you want to go for muscles, for example, if you are reporting any joint where you would have to look at the muscle and innervation, you can click popliteus muscle and then you will see which nerve actually innervates this. So this is a very quick way of checking anatomy, checking nerves, checking innervation and stuff like that. And you can see how very beautiful these images are here on this case. And I will show you now on this module my personal search pattern that I'm using when I go through a knee MRI. This is something that I have developed, obviously over years. This is basically also the way I was taught during my fellowship. But I think it's a very good way, and it's a very logical way of going over a knee. I'm not sure if it's the fastest way, but it's certainly a very quick one. So let me show you how this works when I report an MRI. I do it by compartment. So that means I will first look at the medial compartment, then I will look at the lateral compartment, then I look at the central compartment or the intercondylar region, and ultimately, and at last, I will look at the patellofemoral compartment, and at the very last bit, the popliteal region, although most of the time there's not much happening there. So let's do that. And the reason why I do this is also because orthopedic surgeons, they like a compartmental wise approach, because they also do this in arthroscopy. So they take the scope, they go to the medial side, they check here, they go to the other side, they check there. It's kind of like close together, and it makes sense rather than jumping from medial meniscus to lateral meniscus and then back here and here. Because if you jump around, chances are you might actually forget one of these structures. So I typically start with the medial meniscus, checking whether there are any tears. Next, I will check the cartilage if there is any cartilage defects, mostly on the coronal. Then double check this on a sagittal view, basically again meniscus, cartilage, and then the bone marrow edema. And with these three things, we have the three major things already covered. Then we look for MCL, and lastly Baker cyst, and then also pes ensrine tendons, just in case there's something wrong there. There hardly ever is, but this is basically everything on the medial side. If you want to go a bit more deeper and invest a bit more time, we can also look at the origin of the medial gastrocnemius tendon and stuff like that. So these are basically the structures that I look on the medial compartment. When we go to the lateral side, and you can see this was basically the real-time analysis if this would have been a real case. We don't really need more than 30 seconds or so for assessing the medial compartment if there is not much to describe. On the lateral side, most of the things can be assessed on the coronal view. So we do the meniscus again from top to bottom, checking the posterior root especially, but there's no tear. Then we can see the cartilage is fine, no bone marrow edema. We can check popliteus tendon, lateral collateral ligament, proximal tibiofibular joint, and the iliotibial band. And this is all done on the coronal. If we see something, and even if you don't see something, we quickly correlate on the sagittal, especially cartilage defects, especially at the posterior side. Now, this is something where the sagittal is important, but we check for meniscus, cartilage, bone marrow edema. Just make sure on the axial that we are not missing something wrong in terms of popliteus tendon or muscle injury here. Also over the collateral ligament, we can go down like this. So this is basically what we can look at here on the lateral compartment. If you want to go more deep, we can also look at nerves, etc. But I typically keep the nerves for the very end. After the lateral compartment, we go to the central compartment. Now here, basically, we look at the ACL, PCL. We can look at the insertion of Hoffa's fat bed, but I typically do that when I look at the Hoffa's fat bed. But we just want to look at ACL, PCL. These are the two structures that I describe. The sagittal is mainly just for like a global assessment, but actually the ACL we want to look at on the axial and on a coronal, because this is the much better information that we can get out of it. And then also on the axial, we want to scroll down, we want to see the origin, we want to scroll down the two bundles all the way down, and then PCL again, we can see there nicely as well. And lastly, we do the patellofemoral joint. We can stay on the axial. We do the cartilage, bone marrow edema, joint diffusion, everything on the axial. We switch to sagittal. We can see quadriceps tendon, patellar tendon, Hoffa fat pad, and then there's a bit of fluid in the infrapatellar deep bursa, and that's really it. So the last thing that's left would be checking for vascular and muscular anomalies in the popliteal fossa, and also briefly checking for the nerves. And we can see the common peroneal nerve has here like a tiny focal increase in signal, but this is so little. I think this is not even clinically relevant. Sometimes we can see that, and they would clinically correlate. We would expect maybe some denervation edema in the corresponding musculature. And if you want to know what that musculature would be, you just click it here, and you can go which muscles are actually innervated by these branches, etc. So this is really where collective minds can become a helpful tool, and I really use it nearly every day. Not necessarily on the knee, but certainly on other regions, especially like less commonly reported structures. Okay, so this is really the way I would assess a knee. Let's see at the time. So we have 5 minutes left for the contestants to report. By this time, I would expect we have quite a bit of people already submitting their reports. We will check later. So let's see if I can bring Hefcott on the stream again. Hefcott, you're on. Can you hear me? Maybe he cannot hear me. I just have to send him a message. Let me just go here. Okay. So I think we can do another raffle. Now, what's the plan?
I am unmuted. I should be able to hear you now.
Yes, I can hear you. Excellent. So we have
You got
4
that?
minutes. Yes, no, it's good. I can hear you. Let me just tell you.
So I think, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I just need to come into this other. Give me a sec. I need to join the Collab call separately.
Well, we were going to asking people to say what was the worst part. Oh, okay, good. I think there's just a delay, which is fine.
No, I'm here now. You should hear me now. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
there's
you?
just delay, so I'm not entirely sure when. But we were going to do asking people to say what is the worst part of being a radiologist, and then if people were going to ask that in the YouTube comments, then we would give the best answer a confidence book. So the Confident Radiologist, your recent book published a month or two ago on confidence in radiology.
Okay, this is now not an official raffle, so you want to do like just a proper answer. What's the most annoying bit of being a radiologist? Is that right? Can you not hear me? I think he cannot hear me. I'm not muted. Give me just a second. Can you hear me? No? Okay, I think Havcott wanted to know, let's see. He wanted to know what's the most annoying part of being a radiologist. Now this requires a proper answer, not exclamation mark raffle. So you just need to enter in a sentence what's the most annoying part of being a radiologist, and then we will actually pick an answer, or Havcott will pick an answer that he thinks is the best, and then you will win the book. Okay, so I hope this makes it clear in the chat. So don't enter raffle, you actually have to write a sentence this time. So we got answers like being disturbed all the time while reporting. Other ones are saying the worst thing of being a radiology is that most of the time you don't get to know if you really made a mistake. I think that answer just vanished. Yeah, don't make it too long, otherwise the StreamBot will cut it short. Do a very short answer, otherwise the StreamBot will make you not being able to do it. Okay, we got 2 minutes left. So you have 2 minutes or 1 minute left to actually enter any answers. I will have Kotlet pick something. Okay, good. So we did the search pattern, we did EMIOS, and we do the giveaway now. That's great. And then once the 15 minutes are over, we will jump right to the shoulder case. And then while the people will be reporting the shoulder case, I'm happy to have Dr. Rola as a guest speaker on the stream, and I'll bring you up. I think you can hear me. Jimmy, just a thumbs up, Rola, if you can hear me. Okay, I will pick you up on the stream once we are ready to do so. Okay, amazing, good. So people are posting stuff. That's good. Big ego neurosurgeons. That's seems to be a problem of being a radiologist. Great. Okay, so last minute is going. I just want to make sure you can hear me.
Found a good winner. Anko Wadhira said, our job is like a football goalie. Nobody remembers when we're correct. Everyone will show us when we make a mistake.
Okay.
I think that's got to take it as the best answer.
Okay, excellent. Yes, so
the confidence goes for him.
What's his name again?
Ankur, Ankur, Wadhira.
Okay, so message him in chat, so he should get in touch with us. Send an email at either your email address or my email address to claim the prize. Okay, just a quick reminder, guys, we have lots of other prizes coming up, including, in case you're licensed, this will be in the next segment, in the shoulder segment, and also one-on-one coaching sessions and wrist MRI masterclass stuff. Okay, excellent. So I think I want to go back to the guys who are actually competing. Let me just go back into this stream and see how they're doing. I'm just gonna join the call here. So I think they're all go. This is the call. Okay. Let's join, see how they're doing. Okay, guys, first case, time's up. Timer is done. 15 minutes are over. I hope you submitted your reports. Thumbs up if you submitted the report. I hope it worked good. I can see thumbs. Excellent, amazing. Great.
Chris, you have an echo now. You might want to try and resolve.
Yes, can you hear me now or not? Have got.
Maybe?
Oh, no, it's because I'm in the joint call. I'm going out here.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So echo should be gone now, right? But you cannot hear me now, I think. I've got. Anyways, I will talk now or briefly have a look at the participants. So we have 70 people here.
Give the answer for the first case.
They can all hear me. They answered the first case. Excellent. Okay, guys, we are ready for the shoulder case. We do the same procedure again. I will post the submission link first, followed by the shoulder MRI case. I will just go and get this ready. Give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna load the submission form first. So again, you don't need the YouTube stream now. You can get out of the YouTube stream or just mute it if you're a participant. I'm posting the submission form. Let me just double check. Just want to do this once. Yes, that's the correct one. Okay. So submission form submitted, guys. You can open this, preload it, have it ready. And then I will do the actual MRI. Just, again, I'll give you a countdown. Let me just double check first. Just make sure we actually have the right case. Okay, amazing. Yes, okay, just double check, that's good. So we got the right case. I will share my screen with the stream and we will do again the countdown. So we have 10, 9, or just 3, 2, 1, and I'm posting the shoulder case right now. Okay, so you guys, you can compete. I will reset the timer here and just need to reset, and then we start the stream timer. And while the contestants are now doing this, I want to welcome Dr. Rola on the stream. So let me just pull you up, Rola. I pull you here, and okay, Rola, can you hear me? Oh, I just need to come on your also in this call. Give me a second, and then I will copy here. Zack, 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 zack. Okay. Okay, join. Hi, Rola. Can you hear me? You're on?
Me?
Yes, you're on. You're on the stream. Say hi to the 150 viewers.
Yeah, okay, I can hear you. Hi.
Now I got a little bit of an echo. I just need to find a way to get rid of it. It's a bit tricky, I think. Just gonna mute myself. Oh, you cannot hear me otherwise. Yeah, I will basically just give over to you for the stream. I will first show the QR code. So YouTube stream, if you are watching, you can now scan this QR code, guys. This will bring you to a shoulder MRI case. Okay, this case is presented using the Berlin Case Viewer tool. Or actually, you know what, before we go through the case, I want to show you actually what the Berlin Case Viewer is. So Kai actually had prepared a proper video. So Rola, you have about 5 minutes until we start, but maybe people can already start and open this QR code, go through the case, and I will show a message by Kai, and let's learn more about Berlin Case Viewer, who is also one of our great sponsors for the MSK Olympics. Kai, please.
Yes, thank you, Chris. Let's dive right in. So what is Berlin Case Viewer? Currently, we see that medical education is undergoing a digital transformation. We expect more flexibility, interactivity, and especially bite-sized learning is a key component that people are expecting. And Berlin Case Viewer is one of the leading platforms that drives this change. Berlin Case Viewer is run by a company that is called Berlin Flame, and this company was founded in 2006. However, the actual development of this app began in 2014. We started with private courses for different sponsors, and initially it was an internal app that was used by us, and we used it with our iPads, with our own experts. And later on, this platform transformed into a platform that was globally used with apps. And first we started with apps. Later on, we also had a web platform that we could use without any installation on the devices. And this has now an international user base. And so, for example, for our iOS app, we have a user base of about 18,000 users worldwide. So what we do with Berlin Case Viewer is we have built interactive diagnostic cases that are simulating the clinical workup. So you can scroll through MRI, CT images, you can look at X-rays, you can enlarge them, you can compare them, and you can also do a lot of interactions with these images. So you can read case histories, you can add pins that will be sent to the expert to get answers on these pins during events, for instance, and you can also answer multiple choice questions, so you get a direct feedback on these cases. We try to use a setup that simulates the real-world radiology interpretation. So it's not that you are sitting back and relax and watch a video, what most platforms do, to be honest. So here in our case, you need to work with the cases, you need to click through the cases, and at the end you can read learning text and also see videos explaining the cases by our experts. Our expertise is usually is mainly in the field of musculoskeletal radiology, that are especially rheumatic topics, because that's also my scientific focus. So we have cases on axial spondyloarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, psoriatic arthritis, but we have now also built up our database with the help of external experts, and now are serving also fields like post-surgical imaging, sports-related injuries, and also pediatric MSK imaging. We also have some track in the cardiovascular field and are expanding this currently. So in our web portal, we have two main branches. So we have the BCV Online Academy, which is basically all of our content accessible in a web browser. So people can log in, use it on the big screens in their departments. They can use it on the laptops at home, and even on small screens on mobile devices. And we also have the BCV Expert Talks. These are scheduled talks throughout the year where we invite experts and ask them to hold a lecture, but also to provide 5 to 6 cases that are companion cases, so we can learn with interactive cases. And this is what our main products are. We are also doing sponsored courses and are partnering with scientific bodies to bring their own scientific case collections to life with the help of Berlin Case Viewer. And I also spoke about sponsored courses, so that is one of our business fields that we are working with companies who want to teach and train their own clients. So we are doing internal and public training courses with our own experts, or we are calling in external experts with our cases mainly on rheumatic diseases. And we are also providing our platform as a white label. That means if you are an expert or if you are a scientific institution and want to run your own courses or want to provide your own online academy, you can do it. So Berlin Case Viewer steps one level back, is there in the background, provides all the technical aspect, and you can use it as it would be your own. So this is something that we are very curious about, how this will be appreciated by our clients. So our technology is now 100% web-based. So initially, in the early years, from 2014 to 2022, we focused on apps, on native apps that are on the iOS devices, Mac devices, and also Android devices. But we were not able to use these cases on Windows machines. Of course, this is a big problem. So we transitioned to a web-based platform. Now we are developing web first, and as a second step, develop our new function for the mobile devices that we still support. And of course, it's very easy and nice to have an app and scroll through the cases. So you on a small screen, you can scroll through the cases. You can enlarge and all these things. So I think that's very worthwhile. So most of our content is available in English and a majority of content also in German. And we are also having some content in Portuguese because we have a very large Brazilian fan community and also a lot of experts are from Brazil. So we're very proud to have this Portuguese content, and we also have options to translate into 12 different languages. So if somebody has an interest to do it, we can definitely provide this. So what we are providing is a monthly subscription for 65 euros a month, or for 650 euros a year if you want to save two months. And we also have lower tier subscriptions for students, and we also have a huge offering for free. So on our page, you can see a lot of cases for free and even a lot of videos for free. Our global reach is worldwide. We are available in 70 and more countries. Usually we are, the users are a mix of rheumatologists and radiologists, and they are through all levels, like residents and also experts in the fields are using our cases. And we are open for collaboration. So if you want to bring in your cases, if you want to create a course together with us and market it, that is something that we are ready to do. If you want to try it out, you can enter the website, which is bcv.app or berlincasehöhe.com, and then you can have your own look. So thanks for listening and watching, and I hope it was a lot of information for you to digest, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Okay, so we're back. Rola, can you hear me? No, you cannot hear me. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
okay,
I can.
Excellent. So people should actually already have seen the QR code and logged into the case. I will now, you can share your screen, and I will pull your screen up and see if this works. Can you try to screen share?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good.
Okay, just a second. Let me do this again. Oh, it's not allowing me to.
Okay, wait. Why would it not allow? Share video source. Wait, this one.
Do it again. Try screen, share. Clicking on the share button, but it's not clicking.
It's not letting you do it?
No.
Okay, Havcott, can you maybe leave the stream? I'm just generating a new link, and I'm sending you a new link via email, okay?
Sure, shall I leave this one?
You can leave this one, yes.
Okay.
Okay, guys, we just have problems with this funny sharing tool, screen sharing tool. It worked perfectly in the afternoon. I just have to send an email to Dr. Rola with the new link, also to Havcott. Okay, so, and then we go in there and see if this works. Okay, this is now 3, microphone, join. Okay, so we just wait for them to come back here onto the stream and share their screen. There's actually no reason why this should not work. Yes, so Berlin Casehöhe is sponsoring 2 of these licenses, and we can do in the meantime a little giveaway. Let me just start the raffle here. wait with entering. It's not working otherwise, so you just need to give me a few seconds. And this is not complete. So we do, this time you have 5 minutes. It's live, so you can enter exclamation mark raffle for a chance to win a year license of Berlin Case-Viewer. Okay, guys. Okay, so I've got this there. And we just wait for, I'm just have coding so you can hear me. We're just doing the raffle for the Berlin Case-Viewer license, the first one.
Oh yeah.
Using the stream bot again. I'm just waiting for Dr. Rola to join this call. I think I'm just gonna check the link.
And so does the raffle, has it finished now?
No, it's running for 5 minutes.
Okay.
People are entering, that's good. So let me just double check with Dr. Rola again. You got the link, so Rola, this is her email address. New link to join. Do you have the option to share your screen now?
I do now, yes.
Okay. So then hopefully if she joins, we will be able to do so.
And I didn't previously.
Okay. So while we wait, I want to just go back to the QR code, guys. So you can type in, screen this with your phone if you want to have the phone experience.
If you share the QR code.
Yeah, I'm sharing it right now on the stream.
Oh, you are? Good.
Yeah, I'm sharing it on the stream. Let me just see my phone. Maybe Dr. Rola is writing me there. Oh, I forgot to actually start the countdown timer. Oh, yes. Okay. Hi, Rola. Can you share now the screen?
Again, it's not allowing me to for some reason.
Okay. That's a bummer. I have another idea. We can do just a plain old Google Meet. I'm just creating a Google Meet and then we do it from there.
I'll try one more thing. Just give me a second. I'll try one thing.
Because it worked in the test in the afternoon. Okay. When did we start the thing? I forgot to actually start the countdown. I think it was...
Well, I think most people have submitted it. The best way, if you share the Google form with me of people's submissions, we can tell like that.
I can share this with you, yes. Okay. I'm sharing this now. This will be the form for the shoulder, and then we can...
No.
It's not letting you do it?
No.
Okay,
no.
That's a shame.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so good. Let's do the Google Meet stuff. So I'm just gonna open a Google Meet. I'm sending you another link, Rola, with a Google Meet, and then we just do it from there, okay?
Sure.
And this is same email address.
Yeah. Shall I leave this one?
You can leave here, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so let me just go here while we are waiting. So we have the responses, link to sheet, new spreadsheet. I'm just sending the shoulder responses to the group, and then we can maybe even go straight to the ankle. Copy link, share. So you should have access now. I'm sending you the answer in the chat, and that's the Google spreadsheet with the shoulder answers for the assessment. Okay, so let me see this. I will leave this one, and I will go to the Google Meet call that I just sent it out, and then we will share the screen from here. I know. Yeah, this is what happens if you do it live. Okay, so we go here, and let's wait for Dr. Rola to join here. Okay, the raffle is still going, guys. So if you want to win a Berlin Case-Viewer license, you have to enter !raffle in the chat for a chance to win. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one, and here I'm just waiting for Dr. Rola to join. Yes, okay, excellent. So let's see. Restricted open. Attendance check-in. Rola, are you here? No, not yet. Add people. Let's do this. Oh yes, there you are. Excellent. Okay, can you share the screen now?
Okay, I'm present now.
Yes, present
Okay.
now.
Okay, and then entire screen, share. Oh my gosh, not working as well.
It's not letting you share.
No.
Are you sharing a screen in another app or something?
No, not at all. 100%.
Okay, let me check.
No, why? I'll just do a tab to share. Okay, I'm just sharing a tab. It's not allowing me to do the whole screen.
Okay, but that's fine. We can now see this. I'm just trying to make it full screen, but I will let you talk and you can take it away from here. Okay.
Okay. All right. So, shall I start?
Yes. Yes, you can start, please. Thanks.
Right. All right, thank you very much for the invitation. Today, the case I'll be discussing today, and for the sake of time, I'll try to walk you quickly over the slides. The case I'll be presenting today is a case that's quite common. We encounter in our daily common reporting cases. So this is a case with a patient who has a chronic shoulder pain. So starting with the radiograph, as you can see, that there is foci of calcification seen within the vicinity of the rotator cuff. And as you can see on the AP, as well as the wide view, especially on the wide view that you can see it's within the expected location of the supraspinatus. Giving this appearance, your diagnosis would be, giving the location and the appearance, it is a case of calcific tendinosis. Okay, what would you do next, especially that the patient is having severe pain? If the ultrasound was not, you would ideally do an ultrasound, and what would also be gold standard, and especially for preoperative evaluation, is MRI. So an MRI was done for this patient. Let's start with the axial PD FATSAT. Again, you see the low signal intensity or the susceptibility artifact that are best seen on the gradient. Again, with the expected location of supraspinatus, consistent with the diagnosis of calcific tendinosis. Pretty much, you can see that there is a bit of tendinosis of the rotator cuff, best to be seen on the sagittal as well as the coronal view. We don't see any significant tear. There is a bit of downsloping of the acromion resulting in subacromial impingement, and there is small bursitis, and maybe there is a bit of thickening of the capsule, but there isn't significant edema. So this patient underwent arthroscopic debridement for the calcific tendinosis. 6 weeks later, the patient states that there is slight improvement in the pain, but there is persistent limitation in the range of motion. After that, he encountered a subsequent traumatic incident that exacerbated the shoulder pain, and thus MRI was repeated. Starting with the radiograph, basically, we have, in this part of the world, we have to do, in order for to get the approval of the insurance, we have to do radiographs beforehand. So as you can see on the radiograph, there is a resolution of the previously seen calcific tendinosis. So basically, it's gone both on the AP and the Y view. Now, this is the MRI, and as you can see, there is a bit of widening and fluid signal intensity seen with the AC joint. This is number one, starting from top to bottom. Still, you can see some low signal intensity with the expected location of the supraspinatus, consistent with the prior debridement, and there is some remnant calcifications. Also, if you will pay attention, you would see some switcher anchors in the location of the supraspinatus. So what basically happened is that when the patient underwent the surgery, intraoperatively, they have discovered a tear by the time of the surgery, and this was repaired. If you look at the images in the coronal view, again, you would see fluid within location of the subacromial bursa. Now, what you can tell here, basically, there's interval reduction of the calcific tendinosis with some small remnants, both seen within the tendon as well as the subacromial bursa. You would also notice that there is quite marked fluid in the location of the subacromial. At the first glance, you might think that there is severe impingement, but if you pay close attention and compare it to the previous MRI, you would see there has been some loss of the undersurface fraying, of the spurring of the acromion. So this patient basically underwent a decompression, and there's widening of the subacromial space. And this fluid that we see now is perfectly normal, expected finding to be seen in such surgery. Also, if we pay attention to the supraspinatus, you can see the switcher anchor. You can notice some altered signal intensity in the supraspinatus. Do not mistake that for a pathology. It's perfectly normal to see an altered signal intensity in tendons that have underwent repair that can persist months up to 2 years even. As long as we don't see a signal intensity that is equal to fluid, that's perfectly fine, and the switcher anchor is seen within the footprint. So all is good. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the patient has severe pain with limitation of movement. Now, before even looking at the MRI, you might have formed a diagnosis in your mind, which is capsulitis. Now, what I want to say that adhesive capsulitis, although it's a self-limiting condition, the patients can present with severe pain, limitation of movement, especially with extended rotation, especially when they're trying to perform any movement that would entail subscapularis or supraspinatus. What would we see on the MRI? Basically, we have thickening of the capsule with edema, especially as you can see within the axillary recess, and there is some altered signal intensity and thickening that is seen within the rotator interval, as you can see here. What I want to say that capsulitis could be an expected complication for cases of trauma, cases of rotator cuff tear, as well as fractures. And as we see in our case, this patient had calcific tendinosis. Even though it was treated, capsulitis has to be kept in mind as a complication later on. Question at the end of this talk is what surgery was performed. As we can see earlier, that there was a subacromial decompression, rotator cuff repair, as well as a tenotomy, which is the last option. Why did I say tenotomy? Especially try to look for the biceps on the axial view. You cannot see the dot. You do not see the tendon within the bicipital groove. So you would think either there's a tear. However, I said the patient underwent surgery. So the more likely scenario, the patient either underwent a tenodesis or a tenotomy. How can I tell which from which? Tenotomy, basically the tendon is cut and it retracts distally, whereas tenodesis, you would expect to see the tendon transfixed to the humeral bone with screws, which you basically don't see in this case. So that is an example of a tenotomy. Yeah, that's it for this case.
Okay, thanks Rola for this interesting case. I know we don't see too many calcific tendinitis post-op cases. I just bring
Can you hear me?
Yes, but I think you left the stream. Oh, wait, give me a second. Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I forgot that you're not in the other call. Yes, so thanks very much for this interesting case. I was saying that we don't see too many postoperative calcific tendinitis cases. I think that's interesting. And I was always also thinking to myself, if you have such a large deposit, what is actually left if you take it out? Is the tendon torn or not? So it's nice to see that in this case, after the surgical debridement, that there was actually a little tear. This is a question that I sometimes have myself, if they just let it go and what happens actually to the tendon.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. I think we want to go on with the competition. We will do the ankle segment now. So I thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Rola. Thanks, bye-bye.
Okay. Thank you, bye.
Okay, guys, so it's time to go back to the group. They had to wait a little bit longer because I lost a little bit track of time. I want to go to the call. Let me just find it here. Not this one. Too many things open here. Okay, I'm just going to share the screen again. Okay, guys, we are ready with the last segment. We will do the same thing. I'm just gonna change the layout here. We see Fahad. Hi Fahad. I hope you're enjoying your competition. So I'm just gonna unmute myself and change the layout. We want to see all the people who are actually participating. Okay, great. All right, guys, last segment. This is the last 15 minutes of the competition, and hopefully by the end of the ankle case, we will already have the first knee results. So I'm excited to learn about that. The judges are working hard to get this sorted. We do the same. I'll post the case first, or the link for the actual submission for the ankle. So I'm posting this right now. So go in the chat and get the link for the submission, make yourself comfortable. And then I will again post the case, the MRI here next in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. This time I didn't double check if it's the correct links. If this is not the case, you let me know. Okay, it's go time for you guys. This time I will start the timer on the stream, so we will not forget. It's now 19:58 for me. Okay, excellent. So while this is going on, I want to open again this thing here. I think previously we had a raffle, didn't we? So I think we had the Berlin case view raffle, which we haven't solved yet. So let me just see if we can go back. Let's see if this is, no, this one is still open here. So this is for the Berlin case viewer giveaway, 60 entries. Let's see who wins a Berlin case viewer license. And it's more streams. I don't know, like more streams is from Malaysia. So congrats, more streams. Get in touch with us. Send an email to info@acton.org. And yeah, then congratulations. Okay, so while the guys are reporting, I wanted to show you my search pattern for ankle MRI. I will do this again here on Collective Minds. I'm gonna mute here. So I'm gonna go to the ankle. And you can see the resolution is a bit less on the ankle because this is not a 3 Tesla scan, but for the purpose of just showing you the search pattern, that's enough. When I assess an ankle, I typically start with the joints. So joints means all the joints, ankle joint. So I look here, effusion. I describe cartilage defects, bone marrow edema at the ankle joint and the subtalar joint, and I work myself through the smaller joints all the way to the anterior or most distal part that we can still see on the field of view. This is basically just to not miss any osteoarthritis here in this case, and also we check the bones for any form of stress fractures, etc. After we've done that, I then switch to the syndesmosis. So here I'm just going axially through the syndesmosis, anterior posterior syndesmosis. We can also sometimes use the coronal to actually get a good understanding of the syndesmosis here. And once we've done the syndesmosis, the next thing I'm doing is the lateral collateral ligaments, or the lateral ligament apparatus, ATFL, PTFL, LFC. So ATFL is typically best seen on an axial, whereas the LFC is best seen on a coronal. So we can see it nicely coming down here behind the peroneus tendon or peroneal tendons, and then PTFL also here seen typically on most of all 3 series actually. So this is the other side, so we can see PTFL here. After that, we go to the medial side, and on the medial side, we start with the deep deltoid fibers. We look for scarring, partial tears, old avulsion fragments. Then we look at the superficial deltoid ligaments with its 3 components, mainly also tibial spring. And while we're looking at the tibial spring, we also want to look at the supromedial component of the spring ligament complex, which we also want to verify on the axial itself. Do we have a fat set image? I don't know. be a bit nicer to see. So we look at that, and once we've done that, we then look at the tendons. We can look at all the different tendons on the sagittal, starting with Achilles tendon, with this tendon here, with the plantar fascia, and then the medial flexor tendons, and also the extensor tendons. And here, don't ever forget the anterior tibial tendon insertion. So you sometimes see tendinosis or peritendinitis, irritations, or even partial tears or tears. And if you don't specifically look at the anterior tibial tendon, you will miss them. So we always have to look closely at the long or the full distension or the full course of the anterior tibial tendon. And lastly, we finish with the peroneal tendons, the longus et brevis. And if we have any variants here, we also describe them at that point. And lastly is just the soft tissues in general. Here I look at the musculature. We want to miss, we don't want to miss muscle edema, especially not fatty infiltration or fatty atrophy. That could be a sign of like a polyneuropathy, like a diabetic patient with a generalized fatty atrophy from polyneuropathy, or isolated fatty atrophies in the abductor digiti minimi from Baxter neuropathy or chronic plantar fasciitis. In post-traumatic cases, we want to specifically also focus on the extensor digitorum brevis, which quite frequently often shows strains or muscle injuries in acute settings, even if it's clinically not super relevant. But that's what we want to do. And then the soft tissue, the last bit would be going over the sinus tarsi, not missing anything here, mainly like fat tissue imbibition, stuff like that. And ultimately, any soft tissue edema at any other location, like a Kager fat pad or any lesions at the periphery of the segment. So this is basically what we look at, or how I go through an ankle joint. Now, we still have 10 minutes left for the guys to finish. I want to bring Hafcott back onto the stream. Just gonna make sure he's still there. Let's see, I just need to join myself here. Just going in here and see if Hafcott is still there. Let's see. Hafcott, are you still there? Yes, okay, I'll bring you back on stream.
Hello.
Okay, so you are back on the stream. Welcome back, Hafcott. Do you have any updates from the judges?
Yeah, they're working hard. They were just trying to figure out about the translations, and they wanted to know, is a conclusion necessary, and does no conclusion mean that they're disqualified?
No, we don't need a conclusion. This is basically just a form. We want to make sure they actually find the things, so no conclusion required.
Okay, cool. That's great. And so while this is kind of going on, hopefully too much of a crazy effort, but it would be nice to ask questions about your confidence book, because we're going to give away that, aren't we? We're going to give away a confidence book. No, a speed. We're going to give away a wrist masterclass. Apologies, okay. And a speed book.
Okay, let me just check the last raffle that we started. I think we did the Berlin case viewer line. This one is over. Excellent. So which one do you want to give away now? The wrist masterclass?
It would be nice to start with maybe the speed book, okay. Because then and I think for this, why don't we ask for the audience participation? Okay. We could ask for the top tip for speed in the YouTube.
No, I have already started the raffle where they can just enter.
Oh, the raffle's done with that one.
3 minutes, okay. But we can shoot away. Ask me a couple of questions. Cool. You still have an echo. We need to somehow make sure you don't have an echo. I'm not sure how I can.
I can't think. It must sort of be something on your end, because I've turned my volume right down, so it can't be playing through me, I believe.
Let me just try something. I will use a different microphone. Is it better now?
I'm not sure if I have an echo or not. I can
just
hear you.
Different speaker. Yeah, I don't know why there is an echo. I think it's because I'm in this call. You cannot hear me if I mute myself, right? You cannot hear me now. You don't hear me. So, okay, you only hear me when I'm actually in the call. Actually, you know what? Why am I in 2 times? I think that's the problem.
Could be it.
Just getting out.
Is that good?
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I think that's it.
I can hear you.
Perfect. Okay. Good. So while the people are trying to win the book, let's talk about the book. Actually, it's fairly recent that I have published it, and it seems to be I get good feedback for now, but do you have any specific
Yes, I
questions
can.
for me? You cannot, the echo is not, you cannot hear me anymore, right? Okay, you cannot hear me anymore. Can you hear me now? Hello, I've got, this is really weird. Okay, let me just go in here. Can you hear me now?
Mhm. Yeah, I think, it was a very interesting book to read through and to go through. I'd like to know, first of all, just what is the main thing that caused you to want to write a book about confidence in the first place? Like, did you first get this gem of an idea?
I mean, when I started the online coaching and fellowship, the goal was always to increase speed and confidence in MSK Radiology. So I guess it just made sense after writing the speed book and coaching hundreds of radiologists to actually also write the book about the confidence itself. I'm not sure if you can actually hear me. Let me just try again this one. I think we need to accept the echo, otherwise this is not gonna work.
It was a very interesting book.
I've got a, we
I
have
can't
to, no, I'm back.
Oh, great.
We have to deal with the echo. It's not going to work any other way. But I was saying that basically after writing the speed book and having taught confidence and speed over years, it was just a logical consequence to do that next.
Mm-hmm. And so for you, it was like they were your two things you helped with, speed and confidence. So it just felt like the natural conclusion.
That's it.
And then, well, you were kind of very open as well in this one. I felt like maybe more biographical in talking about some vulnerable moments where you didn't have confidence. If you could go back and give your younger self some advice, like what did say 25-year-old Christoph Agton need to hear that he didn't hear?
I think it comes often down. Lack of confidence comes often down to a lack of preparation as a big umbrella term, and preparation means you need to have some form of feedback to make sure what you're doing is correct. Like even practice, if you do practice stuff, and especially in the book I mentioned the CPR scenario where I was afraid of having actually to do a proper resuscitation in a person, despite having these training sessions in the military, I never really had to apply it in a real case. And I was not feeling prepared enough to be confident in the actual job as an internal medicine resident. So especially on the emergency room side of things. And I think, it comes down to preparation, having the dedication and the courage to actually then also take actions and not just hope for fate to put something in your lab where you can actually make a change. So I think that's a big thing. And for radiologists, basically that means you cannot be confident if you don't know what you're doing is right or wrong. And the only way to get confidence as a radiologist is you need to have feedback. And really the only way to get feedback is you have to either have a very good work environment where you have a very supporting culture, where you have weekly or daily discussions about cases. That works. If you're working in an isolated setup, as in teleradiology, you need to organize yourself some form of feedback loops, and there are different ways to do it, and that's what I also describe in the book on how to make sure you have feedback, you get feedback loops in different work setups, teleradiology, attendings, other subspecialists trying to change specialty. So I have like these 6-7 different scenarios, residents, fellows, and how they can increase confidence and get feedback. And that's what the book is all about.
Yeah, no, and feedback seems to be such a theme, but there's such a shortage of it for most radiologists. But you've got some really practical, even simple tips for people to get feedback. One, which I thought of, was just seek out a mentor or someone you can ask to just say, please, could you give me 10 minutes a day or 20 minutes a day? And it was such a practical, simple piece of advice. Can you talk more just the practical things people can do to get more feedback?
So what you can do, and that's something I started also last year, write in my reports that I want to have the copy of the surgical note or the copy of the histopathology. It doesn't always work, but at least maybe 1 in 5 cases, they actually send me the histopathology, even if I'm not working in that hospital or institution. So they just, out of courtesy, send me the result. And I think that's nice if you at least get some feedback like this. Obviously, if you're struggling and all these things don't work, then this is something what the MSK fellowship that I'm offering is helping with, where people can actually have this constant weekly sessions or daily answers on their own cases where they kind of like give themselves a push. It's a lot of work, but it's totally worth it if you get this systematic way of feedback, not feeling guilty about asking for help, being in a very supportive and completely judge-free environment and closed platform of like-minded people who also want to progress. It's what I call exponential learning. It means if many people bring difficult cases and you see feedback on many difficult cases in a short period of time, you don't have to wait until you would have get the same case to ask the same question about. So this basically accelerates the learning for everybody in the group, and that's why it's such a successful tool for people to learn. Yeah, I think by now everybody will know that. So if you want to learn more about the Virtual MSK Fellowship, I will just briefly type in chat, or maybe you can do that, the link, if they want to learn more. I know we have over 300 people have signed up so far, nearly 350 people actually. And we have a lot of information online. We also have this free community where people can learn MSK Radiology completely for free, the MSK Radiology School. Also another great initiative, I think, where people can start out and try to see how all this works and make decisions whether this way of learning is actually helpful for them. So that's why we have this in place.
And then maybe just a last question before we go on. It'd be nice to know as well what not to do, some of the worst ways in which people try to improve their confidence. I know you are not a big fan of conferences, for example.
Well, conferences have their role in radiology, but I think you just need to be honest with yourself what the role is. And the role is basically just to refresh theory, getting some background knowledge on things, going out, travel to nice places, basically getting to meet other people. But it's not really the learning that's so much in the center of a traditional conference. So what I want to do in the future is also trying to maybe change the way conferences could work, but this is not yet completely out in the open. The only thing I can say that in November this year I will have my own first conference in Abu Dhabi that I'm organizing, and that's going to be something different, I hope, at least. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how's it going to be different?
Well, that's a surprise, right? I think the main difference will be it's more like a workshop rather than a conference. I think that's the thing. So it's not like a passive consummation of information, but more like an active involvement, going through real cases all the time and getting feedback on stuff. So that's kind of like the in-person version of what I teach online. That's the goal ultimately. Okay, great. So I think time's up actually. The 15-minute timer has passed. So let's go back to the group and maybe you can find out how we are with the knee results. If we have anything to present, I don't know. Otherwise, we will have to think about how we end this. But I will go now to the group. Let me just join the...
Yeah, great. We've got the first 5 correct main findings. There we are. Good. Let me see.
Wait, so you mean we have the results ready for the knee or what?
Apparently, yeah. I need to just have a quick check.
Yes. While you do that, I will just briefly do the raffle for the wrist. Before the confidence book. Okay, so here we can see we got 47 entries to win the confidence book. This is the second book, and the confidence planner, which is I think it's a 6-week or 12-week course basically associated with the book. So let's pick a winner. There we go. Maxim K123 has won the Confidence Radiologist book and the Confidence Planner. So Maxim, congrats. Please get in touch with us. Write an email to info@acton.org. Get in touch with us to claim the prize. Excellent stuff. Okay, so going back to this screen. So I want to just briefly say some words to the participants because they've done their job now. They're basically over. I want to release them after like a hard day of work. Okay, so I'm just going to share this screen. All right, guys, you did it. The competition for you is over, or the active reporting is over. We have now received all the submissions. We will now do the assessment. I think Havcott and the judges have been very busy in analyzing the first knee segment, and let's see. Let me bring Havcott onto the screen again. So, what do we have results or not, Havcott? I'm a bit confused.
So let me see. It appears so. Result is they say we do. I can try and share screen and look at the Google Sheet with some of the emails hidden. Might be an interesting way for doing. Should I share screen for that, Chris?
Yes, but make sure you remove the names at this point in time. So we just want to make sure, and these are the ranked ones. I just want to make sure we're not kind of like showing and make false hopes.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to hide the column where we see their names, and then I can show you.
So let me just go to the screen share interview. So we don't need this QR code anymore, and I'm gonna bring you up. Let's see if screen share works now. Yes, okay, that's, yeah, see, now it's working. Okay.
Oh, great. And I can say we've got the first.
Wait. Show on stream, and I need you to be here and show on stream. Okay. So yeah, the first report is after 5 seconds, and it's a test. Okay, that's probably not qualifying. So
let me go here. So we have here then the top report there, which is our first.
I just want to make sure I'm sharing the screen a bit bigger because that's a bit too small. Okay, this is better.
And okay. I can confirm as well the first 5 emails for the knee I've got here. So I mean, they've now given them. Do you want to look through a few of these? Just see the sheet and see how it was looking. You can see how long it took.
Yes. So we started at 11 minutes past 7. So when this looks like this report has been created in.
There was a poor audio visual.
What? Who is talking? Somebody is talking. I'm just gonna, yeah, don't talk in the chat here. I'm just gonna mute you. It's for you guys. So those who participated now, you can stay in this call, but just be mute. I think if you want to listen, you can listen. It's fine, or you watch the YouTube stream. Thanks. Okay, so yes, Efcott, sorry for the interruption.
Good, and I think you might have a little echo, but that's, I guess it's okay. So we can see when this started that these timings were just a few minutes there coming in. Some of them very brief, these reasons for knee play, but were these okay? How are these looking for you? Should I go? You can see all of the results that came in. We've got, well, first of all, let's just count the overall amount. So we've got here going down quite a few. Look, people really did do a wonderful job there of reports. So we had a grand total of 64, because there's one row for that reports, with a variation of it being at 7:27, the final report, versus the first report was given at 7:13.
So that will be 2 minutes 40 seconds.
Okay, 2 minutes 40 seconds is the absolute results. And
did the judges look at the criteria list?
They did. They said major findings correct.
Okay, good. Okay.
Well, you can see, this is what the 2 judges were doing rather wonderfully, Leo and Carlos. Thank you very much. And then some were disqualified, as you can see here.
Yeah, so they missed the major finding.
Yeah, and so people, either they had no total report, so you can see there, if people just wrote.
Yeah, ACL rupture, that's wrong. Yeah, okay.
So that's sort of too little. And then down here, you can see these are the kind of responses that people are getting. But I can go now and reveal the top 5 cases for these. Now people have seen how it looks like in overall. Should I do this?
Do we have the names, or you only have the email address?
We only have the email addresses, but
it's fine. It's fine. So what I want to know is the time, the email address of rank 1 to 5. Do we have that?
Okay, so let me go here. So on Streamlabs, am I sharing this? Here we are.
I'm sharing your screen again, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to cut off the edge of there. So we have here Julio Fernandez.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah. And who wins $500 cash prize, 1 year of Berlin case viewer, and 50 licenses for 1 year for e-anatomy EMAIOS.
Okay,
And
that's amazing.
we have here the time, which is
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's the goal. We haven't got, I think we're going to have to do a follow-up with the shoulder and the final.
It takes too much time. Yeah, especially ankle case will take a lot of time. But yeah,
But what we can,
excellent. So 2 minutes 40 for the correct knee MRI report. So guys on the stream, basically, I just want to say a few things. We will do a proper analysis of the case in a separate video where I go over the case myself. We will show the report, the fastest report. We will give more details on how the knee competition went in a separate YouTube video sometime next week. But yeah, Julio, congratulations. Julio, are you in the call? You're still here? Maybe you can you unmute yourself? Yes, Julio Fernandez, I can see you. You can have a lovely picture of Paris. Do you wanna come on?
Come on?
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone. I can see. Maybe.
Okay, congrats.
Okay, congrats. Anyways.
So we will try to have a chat with him next week. So we'll try to have a call with him and see how he achieved the result, how he prepared and so on. That's good. And I think we will have to do the other ranks after the live stream. I think it's a bit boring just to wait and stall here. But we have a couple of giveaways. So for everybody who stayed, we have a few things more to give away. And I think, so guys, you can now, those who participated, I suggest you go to the YouTube stream. There are some more things to win that you can also enter the raffle, including a one-on-one coaching session with me. So go over to the live stream, everybody. We don't need this call anymore. We will try to get in touch with Julio for a quick chat next week and also with all the other winners, a little winner interview. But I don't think we'll manage here today. Julio just showed his phone on the screen.
We can explain quickly though. So this is the ranking system.
Yes.
We're going to do the times in here. We're going to do the points awarded. So first place 10, second place 8, and so on. These are the prizes you'll be getting for each of the rounds. And then the final, we're going to add together all of the points. And the first place, who gets cumulatively the most points across all 3 rounds, will win $1,000 cash prize, a virtual MSK fellowship with a year of live sessions, and a license for their entire institution for 1 year with e-anatomy. So that will be a very big award. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll get back to you with the specifics of how that turned out.
Yes, thanks, Havkot. So then let's see what else do we have to give away apart from the. I think we have another live now the one-on-one session. We have the one other Berlin case viewer license to give away.
And did we give away the wrist?
Yes. The Maxim has we haven't done the wrist. So this was the Confident Radiologist book for Maxim. So let's go then to the list. I have another 3 more prizes: wrist MRI masterclass, Berlin case viewer license, and the coaching session. So let's do the wrist masterclass first.
Should we do one of them with a question where we can choose the best question from what people go in? It might be faster even than the raffle.
Yeah, so I started already, you see. 3 minutes for the wrist MRI masterclass. And while people trying to snatch the prize, just enter in chat !raffle for a chance to win. While people are doing it, I think I want to briefly just give some general tips on how to increase speeds, and speed is the main topic today. And I have this also in my speed book, and these are really the key secrets to win. I'm just gonna switch or change the screen. Basically, one of the best things you can do if you want to become faster is to stop cherry picking. I know we all do it, and but we should not. Like, if you pick or leave studies on the list and hope somebody else is reporting it, that's a big red flag that you're stalling your progress. If you do that, if you catch yourself ever skipping a study because you're not feeling confident, you have to take that study. You have to invest this extra time. Read up on the study, like read articles about it. It will take you a little bit longer, but I promise you, if you keep not cherry picking, your speed will automatically increase, and everybody in the institution will be thankful. So this is the amazing thing. Like, just pick any study, don't choose the study, just let the study pick you. That would be the first thing. And then I think the second thing would be to just briefly skim the scans. I think skimming, we have a separate YouTube video about that. So skimming basically is just go over the sequences pretty quickly, set up your mind on what's about to come. Like, if you report a tumor case, it's a complete different thought process and approach rather than like a sports injury. And you want to be aware of this from the start in order to preload the right mental processes. I think that's another good tip. Structured reporting, I'm a big fan of structured reporting, because structured reporting, again, reduces the risk of missing something. And I'm curious to talk to the guys who who won the competition today and see how they approach things. I'm really curious on whether they have a completely different approach, because 2 minutes 40 is quite impressive for the case, because it was quite a busy case. We will see that then later next week when in the detail analysis. And yeah, I think that's really that. Templates can help, but it's basically the same as structured reporting. And the other thing is, we just need to go, I think it's called Sutton's Law. Sutton, he was a bank robber. I talk a little bit about that in my book. So he was a famous bank robber, and they caught him at one point, right? So the police caught him, and then they interrogated him and asked him, why is he robbing banks? So they asked him, why are you robbing banks? And he said, because that's where the money is. So that means basically, if we report radiology scans, we also have to focus on where the money is. We don't need to go over all the structures. We don't need to report everything into the smallest detail, because if it's clinically not relevant, not changing things, we can cut short. And I showed you this briefly in the knee MRI assessment. For example, gastrocnemius tendon is often not like a big issue, or like smaller structures, smaller ligaments, which we know and can see, but it doesn't really alter the treatment decision. So we can shorten the things we look at a little bit and tune it down a little bit without losing accuracy in that sense. And the last bit would be the Pareto principle, which basically means with 20% of your knowledge, you should be able to do 80% of the work. And to go from 80 to 100%, it requires another 80% effort, which is unproportional. And so we have to kind of be mindful on where we put our energy and time in terms of learning. If you invest a lot of time in learning some small anatomic variants you will maybe see 2 times in your lifetime, is it really a good investment of time? That's just basically the Pareto principle in a nutshell. Okay, so yeah, that's that. So let's see. Yeah, we have questions about, Roger is asking the result for everybody. So what we will do, everybody will get his or her own result in a normal distribution. Like, you will see the percentile in how you performed compared to your peers. So this will take a little bit of time to do the analysis, but everybody who participated today will get this detailed analysis and will give you like an idea how you compare with the other contestants. So I think that's very interesting for you guys. We might even show you this like in an anonymous way, so you will only see your name and not the other people. So I think that's exciting. And yeah, so the wrist masterclass giveaway is away or is over. So let me share my screen and we can pick a winner here. So who wins the Fahad Babdu? Congrats, Fahad. You won the wrist MRI masterclass. Make sure to get in touch with us. Then we'll make sure you get access to the wrist MRI masterclass. So we got 2 more prizes to give. You wanted to do this with a question?
Yeah, I thought as we got such good responses to the other, why don't we just do the opposite, and we can ask people in the chat to say what is the best part of being a radiologist, and then the best answer for that will win. Which of the 2 prizes would you like to make this for, Chris?
I think we can take the Berlin case viewer license for this, and we keep the one-on-one coaching session last.
Okay, great. So for the Berlin case viewer license, would people please write into the YouTube chat, what is the best part of being a radiologist?
Okay, so we give them a little bit of time. I'm just checking the agenda here. I don't have it open anymore. They cannot see the screen. So let me just open the agenda.
What we have here, then the final prize is for the one-on-one coaching session.
That
And
will be
so
the
we
last
have to-
thing, and then I think we will stop the live stream.
Then we can close.
Yes, after the last prize, we will do that. And I think we will do that one randomly with a little giveaway. So guys, the question is, I don't see any answers in the chat. So
Yeah, I don't see any answers either.
what's the best part of being a radiologist? Make the
Oh, here we
answer,
are.
make the answer
The-
short. It needs to be short, otherwise the streambot will kind of like silence you. So we give you 1 minute to put in your answer. What's the best of part of being a radiologist? Havcott will pick the answer who he likes the best for
So-
1 year license of the Berlin case viewer.
We've got here some nice ones. The best part's to report in my pajamas. The best part is that detective feeling. We're always right in hindsight. We are the silent hero, the dark knight, the backbone of modern healthcare. These are great. We are. You get to see babies before obstetrician. I'm saying that's dope. Ooh, it's hard to choose between these. It's very hard to choose. Oh, I think
I'll give them maybe 10 more seconds or so that we
Yeah.
don't want to miss it because
We
the
don't wanna be
stream,
unfair to
the
people,
stream
yeah.
is also a little bit delayed. So guys, 10 seconds and then we stop the entries for what's the best part of being a radiologist.
Someone's saying, yeah, the best part is being able to help a patient arrive at a diagnosis. That's very true. Also, then somebody's just saying that you don't get abused by patients. Yeah, someone's saying go with Batman.
Okay, that's it. So Havcott, who wins the Berlin case viewer license?
I think it's got to be, when I look at it, the
Make sure it's not somebody who already won a prize.
Okay, yeah. Well, I let me try to see. I think I would go for there's very nice about having that. I think let's go for Shivam Kotak's help the patient while being in the dark, just like Batman. It is true that's a very nice way of seeing it, like a superhero.
Okay.
So congratulations.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Shivan. Yes, okay. So maybe spell him out in the chat so we know, or he knows he won. Excellent.
I
And
will.
then that's the last thing to do would be to give away the one-on-one coaching session with me. So one session, and after that we will close today's chat. So I will do this in the traditional sense again here. I'm just going to reduce the timer a little bit because 5 minutes is a bit long. We will have only 1 minute, guys. Okay, you need to enter the raffle thing in 1 minute, otherwise you will miss out. Okay, I will do this in 3, 2, 1, go. Giveaway has started. This is for a one-on-one coaching session with me. Type in !raffle for a chance to win. And yeah, you only have 1 minute left. This is the last bit we do today. And while you guys are doing this, I want to thank you guys for watching. We managed to go over 100 viewers. I think at one point I saw 160 or 170. That's more than I expected. Havcott and I had a bet running whether we managed to get 100. So I'm very happy. I think this is a great success. And also thank you very much to all the participants. In case you're still in the call, thanks guys for participating in this first event like this. I'm really happy that you turned up. And in case you missed on the YouTube stream, we will provide all of you with an answer on how you performed in comparison to the others. We will go over the results of shoulder and ankle in the next few days and make the final announcement of the overall winner and the individual winners for shoulder and ankle, and inform those people separately. We'll try to get in touch with the winners and especially the overall winner for a little winner's interview if you are up for it. I think that would be very nice to hear from you how you prepared, how you approached the case, how you managed to be so quick so that we can share and learn together how to become faster. That we don't have to be like embarrassed if we are able to perform a highly cognitive task very quickly. I think you can be proud that you did this, that you participated. First of all, it takes some courage to get in a completely new setup like this. So yeah, congrats to the participants. I think you earned a little applause. So thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed yourself as well. And also, thank you very much, guys, for watching live. I'm really looking forward to do this again. Honestly, I think we should do this. I have already other ideas and other disciplines in mind, like how many X-rays can you report in 15 minutes? Like there are endless possibilities on how we can actually do this, and maybe we can even expand this to different subspecialties and so on. So we'll see how this will play out. I'm looking forward to hear feedback. If you have anything that you realized was not great, and I know a couple of things were not great. We had some technical issues, and also the rules might not have been clear enough for some of the participants. So we will also reflect on that. So if we do this again, that this might be more streamlined. But yeah, I think the minute is over. So let me go to the.
Let's see who's won. Maybe we'll become an actual Olympics sport before long.
Say again?
Maybe it'll become an actual Olympic sport before long. Join the actual Olympics.
That's unlikely, but yeah, you can hope. Okay, so let me just go here and share my screen. So I see 49 entries, and let's pick a winner, guys. I think you guys are all too late now. You're still entering raffle. It's been long over. Okay, you can only enter once. You can only get one ticket. I set it up this way, so you have all equal chances. So let's pick a winner. No way. Mostream wins again. Okay, congrats. Mostream, I think he won 2 prizes now. But yeah, that's just random luck. So congrats again. Get in touch. And yeah, we'll repeat this again. Thanks, guys. I wish you all a happy evening, a happy Sunday. And we'll see each other next time, or my YouTube channel or anything like that. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh, I just like this. Okay, bye, guys. Thanks for watching. And see you on the YouTube channel. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. That was